channel and click subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you never miss out from in-depth coverage of education, business insights, or the latest in sports. We bring you the stories that
Coming to you live from our studio here in Banjulinding with me, your host RAMATOULIE JATTA. Today is another week for our interesting shows as usual. But today we have, I'm joined by Peter Mendy, who is from the School of Education in the Gambia College. And today, our theme for this show would be shaping tomorrow's leaders, but also it includes education and empowerment. Education to empower, because we know that education is actually a fundamental key in anything. So here with me today is Peter Mendy. So we're going to allow him to introduce himself to us.
Yes, I am Peter Mendy from Brikama, Gambia College, majoring SES and CRE under the School of Education, Advanced Diploma Program, Advanced Diploma Secondary Program.
Thank you so much, Peter, and thanks for coming. So, Peter, basically you are at the School of Education, and you're also a leader, because you are president of the SES Club and also the Fellowship Club, I think. So here, the reason why we mentioned education is because Peter is so much into education. So, and some of our questions here would basically be on Peter's education, actually. So, Peter, what actually inspired you to, to pursue education? Yeah.
Yeah, it all started in my high school. In fact, most of my activities now, it was through knowing the importance of education, through one of my English teacher that inspired me, the way he behaves in class and the mastery of his subjects, and also in the way he deals with students, that actually inspired me to pursue this wonderful career that is an educationist. So it all started from there. That's where I know the value of education and the importance of it in the community at large.
Thank you so much. So you can see that Peter was actually inspired by his teacher. So as a teacher, you have a lot to do. People are looking up to you, especially your students. So it actually paved a way for Peter to, be an educationist, as you can see. So Peter, how can we create a more inclusive environment for students, not only for those that want to study education or want to be educationists, but students in general, either in the universities, either in college or in high schools? How can we create a more inclusive environment for them?
Well, I think with that one is just creating an environment where their voices can be heard through the extracurricular curriculum activities, and also allowing people to share their voice, creating platforms where students' voices will be heard. And I think through that, we can include a lot of students into things that are unfolding in classes and also in the educational institutions.
Okay. Thank you, Peter. That was great. So we can actually create a more inclusive environment for students by allowing them to participate in extracurricular activities that we normally have in schools. For example, in UTG, you can have Face of UTG and other stuffs that people do in order for students to be part of it. That would, because as they say, you go through school, but allow school to go through you. So it's also very, very important. So as an educationist, can you share an experience where you believe that someone was actually inspired, or someone actually got into education and it was so significant for the person and was able to, do well and also be successful? Like any experience story actually about someone, or if you want yourself?
Yeah, I think I'll talk about someone. I'll be a bit selfish if I talk about myself. I read a story of a young lady that is Aissatou Cisse, that went through, she's an educationist, but attended one program that is recycling program. And in fact, they label her as the queen of recycling. So it was through that program that she came up with an initiative that plastics and other things that are in the society should be recycled. So it is actually something that impacted her environment, her society. You will see that a lot of those littering and some of the plastics that are disturbing in the environment has been diminished. So through education, she was being able to inspire others, and also she was inspired by the training. So I think with the education, it will pave a way for someone that wants to actually impact something in their environment.
Thank you so much. And Aisatu is a female, Abi. So basically, she actually came up with that thing. And people must have got inspired from that. Maybe some would even want to be like Aisatu, because it's a very good thing. And then she's trying to make sure that anybody that's looking up to her also becomes her or more than her. So it's actually very, very important. So we know that in any aspect of life, we face challenges. I mean, they are part of life, and we talk about them every day, every now and then. So, but in your opinion, what are some of the most, let's say, paramount challenges that students face nowadays or today in today's society, and how do you think we can overcome those challenges?
Yeah, some of the challenges that students face, mostly the people that are affected are the rural people, people from the up countries here. So what they lack is basically the quality education. When you look at the environment, the classes, they are not well presented to students. It affects your mental well-being in a class where you don't have a project, or let's say, and we know ICT is very important in education. So lacking such kind of things, and also I'm a teacher trainee, but some of my fellows, at times we don't allow students to share their view in terms of things that have been discussed in class. So such kind of things can affect students because they will only see you as a presenter, and a teacher should be a facilitator in class. Supposed not to be the main man to speak on everything, because the learning is centered at one place, and it should be both you and the students. So that one also is a problem, and it should be worked on.
Thank you so much. Peter mentioned some few challenges that students are having. Though we will go into how we can support the well-being of students, and also what technology does to, how we use it in our modern day. So, but talking about teachers being facilitators, it's important if you allow students to come up with it. Because we know that you are a teacher, but you don't know everything. Some of the students, you can actually learn from them if you give them the platform to speak for themselves. There are some students that would like to come up with something, but they are afraid, okay, maybe he will not welcome this idea, so they will just sit back and relax. But if you allow your students to interact with you, try to tell you things that they feel like is necessary, then you will learn from them, because learning never ends. Like it's always going. So yeah, those challenges are actually something that not only us, in fact, everybody should try working on, either the government or non-organizations. They should try and provide certain basic needs for students in the rural Gambia. So talking about the well-being, because you made mention of that, about the challenges like well-being. So like, how do we support the well-being of students, not only in the rural Gambia, but also even in the urban side as well?
Yeah, the well-being of students should be, I think government should act on them in an area where most of the students face a lot of stress at home. So when you see a student underperforming, you should actually ask to know the reason. Call him aside, call him or her aside, and ask to know the problem, because you will see such kind of things affects a lot of students in class, not because they are dumb, but things that they face at home, bullying and other things that affects a lot of students in terms of performance. So I think we should come with a mechanism where, even not included in the curriculum, but you have a special unit where students will be guided on how to overcome those kind of things. It will actually help in the education system.
Thank you so much, Peter. Yes, mental well-being. I mean, you can be willing, or you are willing to learn, but if the environment isn't giving you that opportunity, that comfort that you needed, obviously learning will become difficult, even if you are someone that wants to learn really badly. So I think creating a better environment for students will be very, very important. Not that they are dumb, but sometimes the pressure, the bullies, like every school has that. They have people that will bully each other. But if you are someone or a teacher that is aware of these things, you try to put an end or put a stop to it. So it's very important. So Peter, you talked about technology as well. So what do you think technology, can be used in these modern days? Because we know that technology nowadays is used everywhere. And it has a greater impact, in fact. It has, I think, though it has bad sides, but I believe it has improved a lot of things in this generation. So what do you think like we can do as, let's say, in schools or in any institution, for them to use the modern technology in improving themselves?
Yeah, I think technology plays a great role in education. I, for one, have benefited from it. Although not that vast in technology, but at least with the small basic things that I know, it is helping me in my studies in the Gambia College. So technology in education can help in accessing some of the courses that are taught in your classes, in your subject areas, and all those things. So if you go to the internet, you'll be able to find them there, and also through the assistance of AI, artificial assistance. But a lot of people are abusing them. In a sense where you just go and copy and paste. I witnessed a scenario where a student went and copied and pasted and he was to present on it. But you will see the student was struggling and everything was difficult for the person. But it is designed in a way that you actually go there and try to know the in and out, have the things summarized in a way where you will not spend a lot of time. That time that you will spend to study the whole paper, you would have summarized it for you. And when you go to present, it will be very easy for you. But if you depend on it, it will actually be difficult in terms of your mastery of what you are doing.
That's really, really important. Like for, let's say, Chat GPT or something, or the AI, sometimes, I mean, even you teach your students, you tend to just, because you have an assignment and the deadline is just at the corner, you're like, let me just go to this site and then, just copy and paste. But sometimes lecturers do know, like they know this is not from you, this is not what you write. It's actually a research thing. So I think, though we can use it, it's important, but do not always rely on it. Try to use your brain because God has given you that brain to think. So think and then do your assignments. If you think this aspect I cannot do it, it's good to use it, but don't just overuse it. Don't just depend on it because outside world, sometimes you can just face people, they can ask you questions. If you're not someone that is a fast thinker, you will not be able to answer anything, and that would be really bad. So now, we have, I mean, education mostly, that's what we're talking about. So like, how do you think young people can get involved in education, and also how can they advocate for their needs in their various schools? Because we know we have different departments or different learning institutions, but how can they advocate for their rights as students?
Yeah, I think with that one, actually what is going on currently in the Gambia College, we are in the politics period. So through associations, sub-association and unions, students' voice can be heard because they have representative. It will be difficult for all the students of the Gambia College to appear in the principals. In fact, they will not fit there. So with their associations and with the union, their voice can be easily heard because they have people that represent them to go and talk to the central admin. So I believe with that, students' voice can be heard. So.
Okay, that's good. Even UTG, it happens. Like you have sub-associations, you have the president and also the other ministers and all that. So they will make sure that the things that you need as students, you may not go to them directly, but through them, those voices can be heard. They will know that this is what the students need, and we should try and give them that because some they pay tuition fees and they deserve all those things. But with the help of those sub-associations, you are able to come up with things that students need, and then you provide it for them. So that's really important. So. Now, we have parents, we have communities. So sometimes too, the reason why maybe a student A does well than student B probably could be the parenting or how the parents are taking care of him or her when it comes to education. Do you ask your child, what did you learn from school today? Do you have any assignments? Do you have any homeworks to do? So how can the parents or communities make sure that students or contribute to the success of a student in the education of it?
Yeah, I think a community comprises of parents in the society. So parents can do a lot in trying to inquire to know the performance of their students, their children at home. So with how would they be able to do it is frequently visiting the institution where their children are in to know what they are doing, how many days they are present, because we see a lot of students are dropping out. It started somewhere. So when you know the cause of it, you'll be able to control the performance of your child. So with that also, but we also understand that some parents are not strong financially, economically, to be able to do so. But there are things that you can do in your power in order to foster the education of your child. And it is actually taking care of your child at home when he comes. You know, even if you are not educated, you have the number of the class teacher. Ask him constantly of the child's performance, and then it will be able to help at your power.
Thank you so much. I think parents have a lot to do when it comes to the success of a student because they spend, let's say, a minimum time at school, but most of their times they do spend it at home. So you as a parent, actually, parents out there, you as a parent, try to make sure that you are constantly in touch with the teacher to know that, is my child going to school? Is he or she performing good? And what is lacking? What does she need that I need to provide for her? I know that most of, like, especially in the rural Gambia, some of them will find it very difficult. But having a very dedicated mother or having a very determined father, it will really pave way for you to become better. Because, like, my parents don't joke with my education. My parents want me to learn. So if you see that in them, they are always telling you, this is what you should do. Be serious, go and study. Because of, let's say, almost every household has TV nowadays. You know that tomorrow is Monday. Tomorrow is a school day. Why would you allow your child to be sitting with you in the sitting room watching a movie till 12 when you know he or she is supposed to go to school? So all of that contribute, because even that 1 hour that he uses or she uses to study, that could actually mean a lot. Like, it could actually improve her academics. But you are there sitting with your, in fact, the whole family. Sometimes you see it. Even students that are going to school, everybody, especially when there are some series that play, let's say, at a certain time, you see the whole family sitting down, including students, all watching the movie. I'm like, are these people not going to school? They are going to school, but the parents don't actually mind much. Even if, okay, now the thing is, some students, their parents, because they say they are well-to-do people, they come from a very better background than others, or born with a silver spoon in their mouth. They are like, I don't care much. My parents are rich. What my parents have, what they have is mine too as well. They don't tend to work that harder. So it's really something that is bad, because your parents won't be there forever. One day they have to leave you. So you have to be there, try to struggle, and then get what you deserve. Because you don't know how they suffer to get that. Probably you were born when they already made it in life. You don't know what they went through to get that, to provide for you. But if you are not determined, you are not there to work and then earn, obviously when they are no more, you become lazy. You are like, my parents didn't teach me. I can't do this. I've never been taught this before. So to be successful, it will be really difficult. So parents have a greater role to play. The same like teachers, also parents as well. So, Peter, this will bring us to the last question. So now, advice, like, what advice would you actually give to students outside there that are overwhelmed or that are discouraged about their academics? Or well, either they are doing well, or let's say they are not really nervous about either going to school or their performance. Like, what advice would you give them so that they can, they can bring up that zeal, they can have that zeal to go to school, try to perform better like others?
Yeah, my advice is actually, it is actually from my background. I actually started my proper schooling in the Francophone system. I was in a particular country, did my 10-year studies in French, and came back to the Gambia and started from grade 7 again. So you will see that I've spent a lot of years in the educational system. So if I was discouraged, I would have not come this far. People would have not heard my voice today. So it is something that people have to put in their mind to actually know the purpose of their existence and have a vision of the reason why they are existing. If you have such a vision, you will always be driven by the vision you have. But if you don't have any vision, it will be very difficult for you to stick to the education system. Although it's difficult, and that's what it requires. So we normally had that there no pain, no gain. So it has to be painful. Our education system is not as perfect as we see on the TV, but we have to go through it, and then we will create somehow we will create a way for others to also enjoy it as they normally see on TV. So it is actually having a vision of what you want to do. In our modern world, education is always a way for you, it's a stepping stone in whatever field you want to do, or whatever you want to do as entrepreneurship or whatsoever. You must be able to communicate in these languages, English and French. So it is very important. If you don't go through the education system, you will not be able to go through it. It will be painful, especially when you are in grade 12. The last month towards exam, that's the time you will be even discouraged. You will think you are done. But we have to do a lot in terms of looking for what we want and what we want to be. Draw a picture of what you want to be, whether you want to study journalism or you want to be a good teacher, you want to be a soldier and something like that. You have to stick to the system and do something.
Thank you so much, Peter. That was really, really wonderful. Peter mentioned a whole lot of things here. Most importantly, a vision. You cannot be someone that you want to achieve this and that, but you don't have any clear vision. You have to sit and then look, this is where I want to see myself in the next 5 years, and work towards that. Consistency, patience, it will all get you there. So thank you so much, Peter. I'm so, so happy for having you here. And that will bring us to the end of this show today. And do join us next week too, inshallah, at the same time, 10 a.m. here in Banjulending. Now we're saying bye-bye and take care.
Welcome to GMEB TV, your go-to source for exclusive news and stories from the Gambia. Stay informed and stay ahead with our expert analysis. And open your YouTube app, click the search bar and type GMEB TV. Open the channel and click subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you never miss out from in-depth coverage of education, business insights, or the latest in sports.